The finals is new, refreshing, and incredibly exciting. And here's why it's my number one shooter of the last 5 years. Let's not waste any time, get straight into it, make sure you subscribe, and let's talk about the finals. To explain why finals is so good, we've got to first explain exactly what it is and why the premise behind it is so new and refreshing. So what is the finals? Imagine a blend of Capture the Flag, Domination, and Battlefield. Then you've pretty much got the finals, which actually does make sense because the finals was developed by a bunch of ex-DICE developers that have gone off and formed a new studio, Embark Studios. It's being referred to as DICE 2.0, and after seeing what the finals is, it's very clear as to why. The premise of the finals is you start off with a mad scramble to unlock a vault. After that vault is unlocked, you then take the contents of that vault to the cash-out point. That's when the finals becomes interesting. The entire concept of the finals, however, is based on destruction. Not just a small amount of destruction either. Don't think of games such as Call of Duty with its minimal destruction, or just about windows only, or even Battlefield with its either very scripted destruction sequences or its limited building destruction. This is something much, much bigger. Here's why. The finals' new gameplay feature, and the one it concentrates most on, is precisely the thing that makes it so groundbreaking. And that's almost unparalleled map destruction. If you can see it, you can probably blow it up. And you'll probably see many clips of me doing exactly that in this video. I have never seen destruction on this level in any game I have ever played, and especially not a competitive online shooter. The developers at Embark explain that the way it's done is because most destruction in games is done at the player side of things. So it's rendered on everyone's very own computer and then transferred to the server, which basically means that it's hard to really get into the massive amount of destruction that this game has doing it that way, because everything would be a bit laggy, as destruction needs to be server side in order to really be able to be translated into a pingless, lagless experience. And that's exactly what Embark have done here. It's the first game that I've ever seen this utilise this. Server-side destruction is something that's been technologically impossible up until now, and that's why the performance of the finals is even more baffling. Because my laptop is somewhere between the mid and high range. I run an RTX 4060 graphics card and I have Ryzen 7 7735HS CPU, as well as 32GB of RAM, which are always 25% engaged. But my laptop was able to handle this at 1440p with graphics set to high, and I ran this at an almost completely flawless 90fps with very little lag. And what's even more impressive is that the insane destruction doesn't even cause any extra lag. It almost never stutters. There have been network issues in this beta, as the game basically didn't work for about 6 to 7 hours at one point, but credit to the developers, they sorted it out incredibly quickly, and the game became the 6th highest played game on Steam, even in front of games such as GTA 5, which is insane for a game that was basically unheard of by a completely new studio who had never made a game before. This game is very special, but let's talk about how that destruction opens up completely new gameplay opportunities that really enhance what sort of shooter this really is. The destruction in the finals completely revolutionises the classic game of Capture the Flag. Put it this way, if a shooter is letting me, rather than slowly creep up into a house, up the stairs, or even through a window, or slowly taking out opponents as I go, and is instead letting me just bulldoze the entire house down by charging through it with a sledgehammer, then it really is creating completely new gameplay opportunities that we haven't seen in any game up to this point, apart from maybe Rainbow Six Siege, but even that destruction was very limited. This is something else entirely. I've had gameplay moments in the finals unlike anything else. I've had times where I've been defending a point, I've set up foam barricades all the way around it so that nobody can get in. I've set up normal barricades as well. The team has literally taken the floor underneath me, and they've already dug several holes in the floors below, and they've dropped the cash out point down 4 floors, covered it with foam, and then stolen it to clutch the game. The game can change so quickly, and it's actually one of the reasons why I'm so glad the Finals isn't just a basic TDM affair with a bit of destruction. The game that they've put in here really lets you make the most of the destruction in the best possible ways. One of the maps has a bulldozer, which literally has got a massive wrecking ball attached to it, and you can use it to destroy any building you want. Another map is a high-rise, and you can basically destroy any building up to almost its roots. Basically what I'm trying to say is that the Finals has a gameplay formula unlike any other, and it is one that is fun time and time again, because the completely malleable nature of the gameplay means that you can literally use any tactic that could possibly come into your mind. What's even better is that every character comes equipped with destructive capabilities. So let's talk about the different characters and what they can do. So there were 3 different classes of character in the Finals. The first is the one that you unlock first, which is the medium character. These characters are particularly good at healing and mid-range combat. They normally come equipped with some sort of grenade that can destroy relatively small walls and create small holes within defences, which is really useful for when you've got a sniper on your team as well. Speaking of, there's the light class, which are normally equipped with things such as grappling hooks and can use snipers, SMGs and the smaller pistols. Or if you're really brave, you could use a sword, which I did, but unfortunately I was not quite good enough for getting in close without being spotted. So put it this way, I got murdered pretty quick. The third class, and my favourite, is the heavy, and they're the destruction experts. My favourite weapon in the game actually isn't a gun, it's the sledgehammer, and that's just because you can destroy anything with it. And I find that if you're trying to play the game of map manipulation rather than high damage, the sledgehammer is perfect. Me and a team of 2 mates went into the Finals. 2 of us were playing sledgehammers and the other one was playing as another heavy with an LMG. And our strategy was basically, if the cash out point is in a building, destroy the building. It worked surprisingly well, and we were able to come out victorious in a tournament, something which I'd never done with a group of randoms before. The one problem with these characters though, is actually one of my core issues with the Finals, and that's the time to kill. In my opinion, the time to kill, even on light characters, is simply too high, and that's just because with a high time to kill, it doesn't reward solo stragglers. So put it this way, you're not getting the same level of insane squad wipe clutches you get in other shooters, such as, well, Battlefield. The issue is that if one straggler leaves the group, which they always will because light characters just move so much quicker and it's just more convenient for them to go in first to scout out the area before anyone else joins you. The issue is that because the health is so high, it is pretty much impossible to take out an entire team unless you get very lucky, or unless you're using a heavy who also has to be equipped with a shotgun, which normally I am. So I've managed it a couple of times, but I can't imagine a light character doing it, because they just don't have the offensive capabilities to do the job. And that's the one thing I think that weakens the gameplay of the Finals. Apart from that though, this is my perfect game. What's even more astounding to me is that the game has released this feature complete and it's only a beta. Most games don't release fully with this many features, and they don't release fully with this lack of bugs, because I've experienced a couple of minor bugs, both of which I acknowledged to the developers and they said they're working on fixes. But apart from that, I can't think of a single major bug that I had apart from server issues that really made an impact on the gameplay. That's incredibly impressive. This game actually doesn't have a release date yet, but considering that we're in the open beta already, I would say it's probably set for release at around the 2024, maybe early 2024 period, maybe Q1 or Q2 I'd say. So keep your eyes peeled for that, because you don't want to miss this. The Finals could be the very next big thing. Whether it will be or not, well, nobody will know that. Nobody can know that. But I think this has more of a chance than any other rogue shooter has had the last few years. I'll be keeping a close eye on the Finals as it creeps towards an official release date, So if you're interested in that, be sure to subscribe, because I'll certainly be releasing more content and reviewing it again once the full release appears. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, and let me know down in the comments if you've played the finals and what you thought of the open beta. And with that being said guys, I'll catch you all very soon for my next video. Bye bye.